treatment modality wise, if we are looking from homeopathic perspective, SSA and RA, how will it be different? Or the way I'm expecting a progress or
Okay, so what I see it this way, both require huge amount of proactiveness, huge amount of attentiveness from the treating physician. But SSAs are more amenable to treatment and are more easily controllable, is what I would say. Whereas RA requires more staunchness from the physician and very huge minute detail attentiveness, because RAs can get into exacerbations more frequently. RAs can get into roadblocks more frequently. This is out of experience rather than statistics. In between, there was a phase somehow during our learning curve, so to say. I'm talking of me and Nimish at the rheumatopd, that I used to jokingly say, यार अपना OPD तो थूजा OPD हो गया है. So we used to get so many roadblocks in between, and we used to have to use intercurrent so often. So that was part of that learning curve where we realized that they just would go improve and then just stop, or they would improve and then go reverse. And then we realized that the need for intercurrents was much more needed than we thought we should. And that's when that learning curve told us that don't be afraid of using intercurrents intermittently. So then think, so it's basically each patient separately, but then you also start learning through so many patients.
but during the inactive phase of these people when they are not in that acute, homeopathically again I'm asking, is how frequently, yani how will you monitor them? Will you be giving them continuous medications, or will you be?
So again, because you have heard their life space, you will, once their symptomatology and signs have gone or become dormant, so to say, then you look for the other life space components which were the triggers. How is your interpersonal relationship? How is your son doing now? How are the other things financially? Are you better off or no? If there are triggers still there, then I would rather have him or her take medicine, भले intermittently ही सही, rather than just putting SL and then getting some trigger and then start treating again. No. So uh, it's like this. There was this lady who was polyarticular RA. She used to be polyarticular RA bedridden. Homeopathy started improving and all, because she understood the psychodynamics, what created that problem for her. She used to be good enough to tell us what was happening in her life. And NVM then accordingly kept on continuing medicine despite she being regular, to that extent that subsequent to that, of course, she was off medicine for a long time after that. She reached a stage where, from being a polyarticular RA bedridden, she used to go to the Himalayas to teach yoga to her age group people and trigger them to be more happy in life and treat others in with a better way and a positive way. And she remained symptom free, disease free for years without medicine. But the point I'm making is the patient should also be sensitive enough to know what we are talking about. There are others who say, "वो सब तो होता है, life में किसको tension नहीं है," and they just leave it there.
Sir, of all the various SSAs, is there any difference in the pace of inflammatory activity, the remissions or relapses, or aggressiveness that we can know? I mean, RA being
So that's what I said. Na? RA is more difficult to treat when it is a proper full-fledged RA. Erosive RAs are more difficult to treat homeopathically compared to an SSA. I mean, all autoimmune inflammatories are difficult to treat, but separating the erosive RA versus seronegative arthropathy, I would say RA will be more difficult, and you will find more troubles coming through the a period of years.
So there will be, even though the clinically patient is better, the inflammatory activity would still be going on. So
Not necessary. No, no,
no, not
no. We found that the inflammatory activity totally goes off.
so that cascade of events would have settled
Yes,
down once
yes.
clinically the patient is better.
But immediately after clinical subsidence of symptoms, you don't find loss of inflammatory outcomes. Meaning you will
That would
find the
be
ESR still high, the CRP still high, or even the anti-CCP markers higher. And then over a period of time, they start coming down.
so that is the time that we should, till that time we should monitor.
Yes, monitoring is an absolute must. There is no doubt about that. Every which way, psychologically, clinically on examination, and through investigative criteria.
So it wouldn't make any difference if I mean, I'm talking about knowing the inflammatory pace. I mean, for my remedy selection, whether it is ankylosing or whether it is writers, it wouldn't sort of
No,
change my
no,
posology.
because then no. So the diagnosis itself will not change your posology unless you say this is an erosive RA versus an RA where the erosion hasn't taken place. So yes, that's what the totality is. It.
That's within the diagnosis.
Huh. But that is what also is the totality, na dost. Again, though diagnosis is important, once you arrived at a diagnosis which is an autoimmune inflammatory phenomenon, whether it is RA or writers, the diseased state is the holistic component that you have anyway taken care of as a totality. No?
Yeah,
So
that
that time the
segregating
diagnosis does
would
not
not.
matter. That time the diagnosis does not matter. What I'm trying to say is that diagnosis is important because that will tell you the pathology. But choosing the remedy will be on the totality rather than the diagnosis. That's what the separation should be.